While we will not be reinstating a broad mask mandate at this time, we should all be prepared that we may need to resume a requirement for mask wearing in indoor public spaces if a new variant of concern emerges.
Ontario's COVID-19 mask obsession. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist with the Toronto Sun. We have hit peak mask mania here in Ontario. This after Dr. Kieran Moore, the Chief Medical Officer of Health, not only refused to bring in mandatory masking when he held his latest update on Monday, but also because the man left the country, went to the Dominican Republic, and dared to take off his mask while answering media questions. Don't you know you're supposed to keep your mask on for 2 weeks after you get back into Canada? Oh, the horrors. I mean, never mind the fact that Justin Trudeau has done this multiple times. How many times has he left the country with this rule in place? And then when he's speaking, he's taken off his mask just like Dr. Moore did. Dr. Moore, by the way, more than 6 feet away from other people. I know. I was in the front row, by the way, not wearing a mask. More on that in a moment. Dr. Moore is being chased and hounded by media for not bringing in the mask mandate and taking off a mask while answering questions. He wore it into the news conference room. He wore it out of the news conference room. He wore it in the hallways of the Queen's Park Legislature. But that is not good enough. How dare he? And how dare he take a vacation? This is mask mania. It's also showing up in the fact that for the last 2 days, I've been trending on Twitter. Why? As I mentioned, I sat in the front row and I asked the doctor a question and I wasn't wearing a mask, which, by the way, is following the official rules, the official public health guidance. Yes, masks are recommended. They're not mandatory. I've had 3 shots. I've had COVID. I've tested negative recently. I'm fine. But no, you've got to wear a mask everywhere you go for the mask zealots. Thus, I've been trending for 2 days on Twitter with people calling me all kinds of names driven by the liberal woke mob who thinks that we're all going to die if we don't wear masks. Again, Justin Trudeau, yeah, doesn't wear masks while he's in Europe, just when he's at home here in Canada. And speaking of liberals, it was the liberals in the NDP that started calling for mask mandates to be resumed last week. They said mandatory masking had to come back, yet here's NDP leader Andrea Horwath hugging star candidate Kristen Wong-Tam at an event and posting the photo online for all to see. Neither one of them's wearing a mask. That's pretty close contact with the embrace there. What about the Ontario Liberals? Stephen Del Duca was at a fundraiser the day that he called for the masks to be made mandatory again. Now, if you look at the photo, he and the candidates are masked, but the people behind them, they're not. I live and work around Queen's Park. I've seen top Liberals not wearing masks in places where you could, like the Blue Jays game last week. Top Liberal not wearing a mask. I don't care. So I'm not going to say who it is, but the Liberal response is, well, we only want them where they're actually necessary, where people have to go, like pharmacies and grocery stores. I'm sorry, but walking past you in the soup aisle to grab a can of Chunky is more dangerous than 60,000 people clapping, cheering, yelling, speaking moistly, side by each at a Jays game. I'm just not buying it. This is mass theater. This is people losing their collectivist little minds over mask rules. If you want to wear one, you still can. And around me, most people still are in downtown Toronto. Where you live in Ontario, it may be different, but you have the choice. And people are exercising their choice based on their own risk assessments. That's what we need to be doing. And as I wrote in a recent column, Dr. Moore has described who's at risk. It's mostly older people with immune compromising conditions, and it's not kids in school. Everyone needs to learn how to relax and stop acting like it's March 2020 and COVID is a new disease we all have to lock ourselves in our homes for. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below, share this on social media, and don't forget, subscribe to our channel.